Long after the earliest villages rose along the muddy banks of the Yellow River, new changes began to ripple across ancient China, changes so important that they would lay the foundation for its very first dynasties, the Xia and the Shang. These early kingdoms emerged from growing communities that were learning not just how to survive, but how to organize, lead, and dream on a much larger scale. As villages expanded, leaders began to rise, people known for their wisdom, bravery, or skill in guiding others. The legend of the Xia dynasty begins with one such figure, the Great Yu the Great, a hero remembered for taming the dangerous floods that once destroyed entire settlements. According to ancient tales, Yu traveled across mountains and valleys, studying the flow of water and creating channels that guided flood waters safely into the sea. His tireless work inspired people everywhere, and from their deep respect for him grew the first dynasty in Chinese history. Life in the Xia dynasty was still simple and closely tied to nature. Families lived in homes made of packed earth, surrounded by fields of millet and wheat that swayed gently in the breeze. Children played near irrigation ditches that carried precious water to crops, splashing their feet in cool streams while listening to grown-ups tell stories about Yu and the spirits of the river. These tales filled young minds with wonder, reminding them how courage and teamwork could transform entire communities. As time passed, new leaders emerged, each adding to the growing traditions of the Xia people. They held small ceremonies to honor ancestors and the forces of nature, believing that harmony between humans and the heavens kept their world in balance. Villagers created simple bronze tools and ornaments, marking the beginning of skills that would later flourish under the Shang. When the Shang dynasty rose to power, the world along the Yellow River changed dramatically. The Shang people built impressive walled cities with tall gates and carefully planned streets. Their homes were arranged neatly inside protective walls, while workshops, storage pits, and ceremony spaces filled the bustling heart of each city. Children walking through the streets could smell the scent of burning fires from bronze foundries and hear the rhythmic clanging of hammers shaping glowing metal. Bronze working became one of the greatest strengths of the Shang. Craftsmen melted copper and tin together to create hard, durable bronze that could be formed into tools, weapons, and beautifully decorated ritual vessels. Some vessels had swirling patterns shaped like dragons, clouds, or fierce animal faces, symbols believed to guard families and connect them to powerful ancestors. Young apprentices watched in awe as molten metal poured into clay molds, dreaming of mastering the ancient craft themselves. The Shang also developed remarkable writing. On smooth pieces of ox bone or turtle shell, diviners carved early Chinese characters to record questions for the spirits. These oracle bones were heated until they cracked, and the cracks were read as messages from ancestors. Each question about harvests, weather, battles, or royal decisions helped shape the future of the kingdom. Children listened with wide eyes as elders explained how every crack held wisdom from beyond. Farming continued to be the heart of daily life. Families tended fields stretching beyond city walls, using bronze sickles and wooden plows to grow millet, barley, and other essential crops. In summer, farmers rose before sunrise to work the land, their shadows long across the golden fields. In autumn, whole communities gathered to harvest grains, filling storage pits that would feed them through cold winters. Celebrations followed, with music, dancing, and feasts that brought joy to hardworking families. Horses became incredibly important during the Shang period. With sturdy chariots pulled by strong horses, warriors could move swiftly across battlefields. Chariots rattled across packed earth roads, and children sometimes raced beside them, pretending to be mighty generals leading their own armies. The sight of gleaming bronze weapons and proud horses left unforgettable memories in young minds. Art and crafts flourished as well. Shang artisans carved intricate patterns into jade ornaments, polished stone axes, and crafted delicate bone tools. Their skills brought beauty into everyday life and turned ordinary objects into treasured items passed down through generations. Each piece reflected patience, creativity, and deep respect for tradition. Music filled Shang cities during festivals and rituals. People played stone chimes, bronze bells, drums, and flutes, creating melodies that echoed across courtyards and open fields. Children danced in circles, waving silk ribbons as musicians beat steady rhythms that vibrated through the air like distant thunder. These celebrations strengthened communities, reminding everyone of their shared beliefs and hopes. Rituals were central to Shang society. They honored ancestors through offerings of food, bronze vessels, and fragrant burning herbs. Families believed their ancestors protected them, guided them, and helped maintain harmony in the world. Children grew up learning the importance of respect, tradition, and the invisible connections that tied one generation to the next. Trade networks also expanded during this time. Merchants traveled between towns carrying fine pottery, carved jade, bronze tools, and woven goods. In return, they brought back shells, stone beads, and rare minerals from distant lands. These exchanges spread ideas, technologies, and stories across the region, helping the Shang world grow richer and more connected. As the Shang dynasty grew stronger, society became more organized. There were kings, nobles, warriors, farmers, and skilled workers, each with important roles to play. Children learned from an early age which skills they might inherit, watching parents work with pride and determination. Every family contributed to the strength of their community, forming the backbone of the dynasty. Though life could be challenging, especially during harsh winters or difficult floods, the people of the Xia and Shang dynasties worked together with resilience and hope. They built cities, developed writing, mastered bronze, and shaped traditions that would influence China for thousands of years. Their achievements laid the groundwork for the great dynasties yet to come. And so, from the earliest legends of flood-taming heroes to the bustling bronze cities of the Shang, ancient China began stepping into history. It was a world filled with innovation, tradition, and stories that still echo today's stories of courage, creativity, and the beginnings of a civilization destined for greatness. As the Shang dynasty continued to grow, life in the kingdom became more organized, more creative, and more connected than ever before. Families worked, learned, and celebrated within a society that was constantly developing new ideas. Children born during this time grew up surrounded by the sounds of bronze workshops, lively markets, and the steady rhythm of rituals that shape everyday life. Inside the walls of Shan cities, neighborhoods bustled with activity from sunrise to sunset. Farmers brought baskets of fresh millet, beans, and vegetables to trade, while artisans displayed bronze knives, jade ornaments, and pottery decorated with swirling patterns. Children rushed between stalls, marveling at colorful fabrics, polished stones, and rare treasures from distant villages. Every corner of the city felt alive with movement and discoveries waiting to be made. Bronze technology became even more advanced as skilled metalworkers perfected their craft. They crafted elegant cups, large ceremonial vessels, and sharp bronze weapons that glinted beautifully in the sunlight. Workshops glowed with fiery furnaces as workers hammered, shaped, and polished each piece with care. Young apprentices swept floors, carried tools, and watched intensely, eager for the day they could join the ranks of master craftsmen. Beyond the city walls, farmers continued to shape the land with determination. They dug irrigation channels, planted new crops, and cared for fields that stretched across the horizon. Children often accompanied their parents, learning how to place seeds in neat rows and how to watch the sky for signs of approaching storms. Each peaceful morning and each busy harvest taught them skills that connected generations. Hunting also played a role in daily life. Groups of hunters ventured into forests and open plains searching for deer, boars, and birds. They returned with stories of their adventures, stories of tracking animal footprints, listening to the wind, and practicing patience in the wild. Children gathered around them, fascinated by tales of bravery and teamwork. Horses strengthened Shang society in many ways. Chariots were not only used in battle, but also in royal ceremonies and important processions. Young onlookers cheered when chariots rolled through city gates, the wheels rumbling against the earth while horses trotted proudly in front. These scenes added excitement and wonder to ordinary days, reminding everyone of their kingdom's growing power. Writing also became more widely used. Oracle bones continued to record questions for the spirits, but they also became records of events, offerings, and royal activities. Scholars studied symbols carved into bones and shells, trying to understand their meanings and teach others how to read them. Children practiced simple characters in the dirt with sticks, hoping to one day take part in the world of learning and decision-making. Rituals grew more elaborate, reflecting deep respect for ancestors. Families prepared special foods, lit fragrant herbs, and placed bronze vessels on decorated altars. The air filled with soft music and glowing firelight as everyone gathered to honor their family line. Children watched carefully, memorizing each step and learning the values of gratitude, responsibility, and tradition. Music continued to be an important part of life. Musicians played bells, chimes, drums, and flutes to accompany dances performed during celebrations. At night, families sat outside their homes listening to melodies drifting through the warm air. Children sometimes took small instruments and tried to play along, laughing when their notes wobbled or squeaked. Shang nobles lived in larger homes and wore clothing made from fine materials. They held important meetings, planned ceremonies, and made decisions that guided the kingdom. Children from noble families studied writing, music, and rituals from a young age, while children from farming families learned practical skills like planting, building, and crafting. Though their paths were different, each child played a part in strengthening the dynasty. Military forces also became more organized. Warriors trained with chariots, bows, and bronze-tipped spears, practicing formations and strategies to protect the kingdom. Children admired these warriors, often pretending to be brave heroes defending the city walls. Their games echoed across open courtyards, filled with energy and imagination. Trade grew even more important as roads connected distant regions. Merchants traveled long distances with chariots loaded with goods, following winding paths through forests and valleys. They brought back precious materials like turquoise, ivory, and special stones that couldn't be found nearby. With every journey, they also carried stories of new landscapes, new people, and new ideas that helped the Shang world expand. Crafts continued to flourish in every corner of the kingdom. Jade workers carved delicate ornaments shaped like birds, dragons, and mythical creatures. Bone craftsmen polished tools with smooth surfaces. Potters shaped clay into jars with curved necks and painted patterns inspired by nature. Children often gathered around these workshops, admiring the patience and skill needed to create such beautiful objects. Food culture also grew richer. Families cooked millet porridge, baked flatbreads, and grilled meat over glowing fires. During festivals, large feasts brought people together to share dishes and celebrate the fruits of their hard work. Children especially enjoyed sweet treats made from honey, nuts, and sticky grains. As time passed, the Shang dynasty built strong foundations in government, art, technology, and culture. Their achievements would influence every dynasty that followed, shaping China's history in powerful and lasting ways. Though the Xia and Shang people lived thousands of years ago, their creativity, courage, and wisdom continue to inspire today. Their world built on stories, struggles, discoveries, and dreams marked the true beginning of ancient Chinese civilization. And in the echoes of bronze bells, the glow of firelit rituals, and the gentle flow of the Yellow River, we can still catch glimpses of a time when the first great dynasties stepped proudly into history.